organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, new developments in the trial of the alleged Pentacrest rapist. We'll tell you what you need to know about the former Iowa student's case.
And academic alterations. See how changes in the advising center will affect athletes on campus.
And in sports, men's hoops and the last Kirk Ferentz press conference of the year. All on the way, coming soon.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning into your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Ian Martin.
And I'm Whitney Blakemore.
The trial continued today for the alleged Pentacrest rapist. On Wednesday, the defense argued that the alleged victim was not injured during the alleged assault. Witnesses also discussed whether the victim had smoked marijuana before the attack. Former UI student Evan Pfeiffer is accused of sexually assaulting the woman in the early morning hours of October 3rd, 2010 on the west side of the Pentacrest. Investigators found Pfeiffer's DNA on the victim. The trial is expected to last 4 to 5 days, and Pfeiffer could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted on the sexual assault charge.
The University of Iowa is making changes in its students-athlete advising program to benefit both employees and students. Daily Iowan TV's Iowan Simic tells us about these new changes.
In the wake of the investigation of former Athletics Department Advisor Peter Gray, the University of Iowa will implement a series of changes intended to positively impact student-athlete advising and compliance in the Department of Athletics. Student academic advising and the athletics program will work together to ensure safety on the UI campus.
Primarily, the student advising and academic counseling area will now be co-reporting to the athletic director, Mr. Gary Barta, as well as to the provost's office, which is, of course, run by Barry Butler, who is our provost.
Some of the changes that will be put into effect immediately are detailed reviews of all hiring processes and an internal audit of student-athlete advising services. There is another change that will help university employees learn about sexual harassment.
Mandatory training related to sexual harassment response, and so everyone at the university who works at the university is required to take that training.
President Sally Mason has stated that our ultimate goal as a university is to protect our students, faculty, and staff. And by doing so, Tom Moore emphasizes the importance of sexual harassment training at the university.
Sexual harassment training, response training is very important. The Sexual Misconduct Response Office is always available to respond to questions or concerns, and so there are many avenues which people can hopefully address their concerns when they arise.
With these changes in effect, the university can take the necessary actions to improve the safety of its students and employees. Iowan Simic, Daily Iowan TV.
If you have any questions or concerns regarding sexual harassment, contact Monique DiCarlo, the UI Sexual Misconduct Response Coordinator, at 319-335-6200.
The topic of college debt is taking on a new life after the presidential election. Now, there are rising concerns that the government is making college loans too accessible to students. The latest figures released by the Federal Reserve show that student debt has increased by $42 billion. That's a $4.6 billion increase just in the last quarter. Outstanding loan debt has now reached $956 billion. This increase makes student loan debt the largest form of consumer debt outside of mortgages. Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, a multi-million-dollar hit. See how an expired patent will affect the future of UI research.
And in sports, one hoops team finishes its ACC Big Ten Challenge, while another plays tonight. We'll have the preview coming up. But first, let's go to Kara Bimschlager for a look at this week's weather. Kara?
All right, thanks, Whitney. The sun was out today, which was nice, but it looks like we will be seeing more clouds than sunshine in the next few days. Tomorrow morning gets off to a chilly start with 32 degrees and partly cloudy skies, and the clouds will stay put as we head into the afternoon with the temperature rising to 48. Going into the evening, the temps will drop, but not by much as we close the day with 39 degrees. And the extended forecast brings some warmer weather and some rain. To start off December on Saturday, there is a 20% chance of showers, and Sunday and Monday, we are warming up to a 64 degrees. Well, that's all I have for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
State funding, the federal budget, and patents are three things that have seen a decrease in revenue at the UI. Now, a newly expired patent for UI research could spell trouble for the program. Daily Iowan TV's Christina Targos took a look at how research labs will be affected by the change.
When a researcher makes a discovery, one of the most important things they can do is patent it. A patent grants the inventor of a product exclusive rights to it. The inventor can then use, manufacture, or sell the invention and make a profit. The UI currently has about 500 patents. Some earn no money, others have earned over $100 million. And this money gets distributed to many different people and places. This is the current policy for patent money at the UI. The first $100,000 goes to the inventor. After that, 15% goes to the department for research, 15% goes to the college for research, 20% goes to the office of the vice president for research, 25% goes to the UI Research Foundation, and 25% goes to the inventors. So even though a lot of money goes to the inventors, a lot more of it comes back to the colleges. It helps buy the necessary tools needed for research lovers to tip the beakers on their projects. But unfortunately, patents have a lifespan.
Patents used to have a 17-year life from when they were issued. Nowadays, it's 20 years from when you first apply.
And one patent the UI benefited immensely from just finished its life cycle. It brought in $175 million over its lifetime. But not all patents bring in that much. Patent revenue is just a small slice of the overall research funding. It is used as a buffer for budget cuts. And with that particular patent no longer existing, the buffer is shrinking. It caused a revenue drop of $37 million. And research areas are becoming the target of budget cuts from Congress. This forces the university to invest in a mix of inventions to rebuild the buffer, which can be just as risky as the researchers' experiments. So for now, the best thing the research labs can do is to keep measuring, pouring, and mixing. Christina Targos, Daily Iowan TV.
And now let's take a look at what's happening outside of Iowa City. Hooded Disney sweatshirts and several U.S. and European retail brands were found at a garment factory in Bangladesh, where 112 people died in a fire over the weekend. Retail giant Walmart says they were aware of the safety problems in the shop and ended small business before the fire. Sears, Walmart, and Disney were just a few registered buyers in the businesses' account books.
2012 is on its way to becoming one of the hottest years on record. A statement released by the World Meteorological Organization blames global warming for the alarming amounts of melting ice in the Arctic. Delegates from nearly 200 countries are meeting in Doha to discuss ways of slowing down climate change.
And speaking of breaking records, Wednesday the Powerball became the second highest lottery in history. The new number has raised to a whopping $550 million. Powerball's website lists your chances of winning the dough. Every ticket gives you a 1 in 175,223,510 chance at the jackpot.
You actually have a better chance of being struck by lightning multiple times than you do of winning that lottery.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Ian, but I don't like those chances at all.
Yeah, and now for your look at Hawkeye Sports Update, let's go to Alicia Denyes.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. A whole lot to cover today, so let's get right to it. The Iowa men's basketball team traveled to Blacksburg last night for their first true road test of the year. They took on the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Fran's bunch has high hopes for their 2012 campaign and looked solid out of the gate. They've begun the season with 5 straight wins in non-conference play. But after making it to the finals of the Cancun Challenge, the Hawks have dropped 2 straight to perennial contender Wichita State in last night's 95-79 loss to Tech in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Nick Rector is standing by with more from Daily Iowan Newsroom. And Nick, what did you see from the Hawks last night?
Thanks, Alicia. Well, the Hawkeyes traveled to Virginia Tech last night, and in a hard-fought battle, they lost to the Hokies 79-95. It was a quick-paced game, both teams looking to get the ball up and down the floor pretty fast here, and it looked like the Hawkeyes were going to hang with the Hokies in this one, but a 19-1 scoring run by Virginia Tech at the end of the first half really put the game out of reach. ACC leading scorer Eric Green went off in this one, scoring 24 points and really doing whatever he wanted to do with the Hawkeye defense. Fan favorite Aaron White scored 21 points, had about 7 dunks, and finished with a double-double in this one, though. You can see the Hawkeyes live back in action this Saturday at noon playing Texas A&M Corpus Christian.
As always, thank you, Nick. The Hawks may have struggled last night, but the Big Ten fared well overall, taking a 4-2 lead in the challenge behind a strong showings from Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, and of course, #1 Indiana, who wiped the floor with the North Carolina Tar Heels 83-59. Preseason Player of the Year Cody Zeller poured in 20 points and grabbed 8 boards in the Hoosiers' rout. And with the hoop season heating up, as strange as it still may sound to many Hawkeye fans, the 2012 football season officially ended today with Kirk Ferentz's final news conference of the calendar year. While many media members expected the head coach to address rumors concerning the future of offensive coordinator Greg Davis, Ferentz dismissed any chance of the Hawks' new OC leaving town. He did, however, touch on the outlook after the 2012 season, the future of the program, and gave his perspective on his senior quarterback, James Vandenberg's final year in Iowa City.
I can't imagine anybody being happy about it, except people that don't like us. I'm sure they're thrilled to death. So, but nobody in our program's happy or satisfied, and you can't be. I am optimistic and always have been. I was optimistic 14 years ago. So, way I look at it, I've got a great job. I work with great people in a great place, and I saw no reason 14 years ago why we couldn't be successful. I see no reason today why we can't be successful moving forward, and it's about as simple as that. So. What it comes down to is what we do here. And, the worst thing you can do is panic. The next probably worst thing you can do is be, have blinders on. And I don't think we're going to do either. I really don't. I feel bad for all of our seniors because, those guys worked harder than, 4 and 8 years. So that's hard, and nobody more than James. And I think the thing I'm trying to say there is that, James had a tough year on the field. There's no question about it. I don't think anybody could have done a better job off the field and handling it and dealing with it and representing himself in a really class way. And I think, anybody that's paying attention, if they don't have respect for that young guy, they're just, they're missing the whole boat, And that's, we didn't design a 4 and 8 year to see, check everybody's, medal and all that jazz, but your medal gets checked pretty.
And finally, we end tonight's show with a reminder that the women's basketball team opens up their own ACC Big Ten Challenge tonight in Tallahassee, facing off against the Seminoles of Florida State. It will be a classic test of hard-nosed defense competing with an explosive offense, with Lisa Bluter's bunch holding opponents to a 32.9% shooting percentage from the field, while on the other hand, undefeated Florida State is averaging more than 80 points per game. Well, that's all for us here in the sports studio. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alicia. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Thursday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about beards for breast cancer and see how much money some scruffy faces have raised for a cause.
And read about what local business leaders want for the future of downtown.
That's all for your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.